Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Today we'll be talking about terrorism, uh, yeah, starting from its definition, how it erupts, what are the stages, its evolution in Pakistan, how much we have been successful to overcome it, and what went wrong and what went right, and what is the situation now, and what do we expect in future. So the world is grappling with the definition of terrorism, but I think one consensus definition is that uh, whenever violent means are used against innocent, unarmed people, uh, then it comes in the definition of terrorism to a great extent. Now it can be for political purposes. Normally, it is like that. It can even be for economic purposes, or it can be one odd act for some specific purpose. It can be animosity or whatever. But this is generally the accepted definition that if violent means are used by some organized group or even an individual against innocent citizens or unarmed people, so it comes in the definition of terrorism. Now, how it actually, if we look at the terrorism at large, uh, how it develops. Naturally, the next stage, the lower stage of next to terrorism is extremism. And how does extremism erupt? Basically, it is normally because of deprivation, actual deprivation or perceived deprivation. This can be political deprivation or economic deprivation or justice not being dispensed properly. So, if a few people or a group of people or even an individual feels that he has been or she has been wronged as far as justice is concerned, as far as some merit is concerned, as far as economic opportunities are concerned, or even as far as political opportunities are concerned. If there is a suppression which is not liked by human beings, so this could be one of the main reasons. Then there can be indoctrination, that actually you are not deprived. There's nothing wrong as far as whatever is going on, but you are being indoctrinated for whatever purpose and by whatever means, uh, making a false perception or trying to affect your mind and making you believe that this is something being wrong done to the society for which you have to avenge, or something is being wrong, be done wrong to you, which you must avenge, or your family, you know, they should avenge and all that. Then there's a third, element also, which can be, a mercenary acting as a terrorist. You are being paid to do something. So combination of all these three, or any one of these three, or two, as I said, indoctrination, sense of deprivation, and paid thing. So these can propel you as far as the act of terrorism is concerned. Now, as far as Pakistan is concerned, we know that this terrorist activities, they have a long history. Initially, started as the Baloch insurgents, and then it expanded elsewhere. Once the war in Afghanistan started, then there were other reasons also. Uh, there were, certain intelligence agencies, enemy intelligence agencies, which used these people against the state of Pakistan. There were some genuine grievances which people of Balochistan or even elsewhere, they thought they need to put it right, they need to avenge. So they went on the mountains and they started resisting the state. When state was not, state was asked to put back the writ again, and there were problems. It has been happening that way. Now, the factors which have been affecting that, how it develops, how it has traveled, as far as the nature of this resistance is concerned, it depended on two, three factors. One was their own ingenuity. How good is the leadership of terrorists and those insurgents and dissidents, those who were trying to, act against the state. and who were at their back, who were abetting them. Then, as the technology developed, first it used to be with the help of explosive only and guns. Later on, it came to IEDs, remote controlled IEDs. Very sensitive instrument, started getting used. So this is now, if we look at it today, it has entered into a very sophisticated stage where they use remote controlled rockets, remote controlled bombs, light sensitive instruments, and touch sensitive things, anti vehicle mines, anti personal mines, and some of them, these jackets, suicide jackets, suicide vehicles. So now it has assumed very large dimensions, and it has become a very sophisticated affair. Now, Pakistan has been grappling with this menace for quite a long time, and there has been a lot of uh, azms, as we say, a number of operations with different names, and mostly they were successful, but ultimately we could not finish it entirely. Even today, it is again propping up. So, what is the reason behind that? I think the main thing is that the armed forces, the army, uh, they should realize their limitations, and the limitation is that army is trained to fight an enemy which is known, which can be seen, which can be detected, and which is isolated from the main public, so that you do not have the damage, expanded damage. So what happens is that initially, once these people, the dissidents, were on the mountains, they were away from the population. It was easy for army to target them and to subdue them, and they did that. They kept on doing that. But as these insurgents and these terrorists, they kept moving towards populated areas, and they got intermingled with the population, then the real problem started. Then it became a political issue. Also, because some of the foreign countries or foreign intelligence agencies were are always involved, so it is also a diplomatic issue. Uh, and then because of the grievances, it is also an economic issue. It is also an issue of justice. So unless you have a whole approach, very integrated whole of the nation approach, it is very difficult to control terrorism nowadays. Even earlier it was like that, but now it is becoming even more difficult, and you have to have a more integrated approach. And once I say that, you have to make sure that all those groups who feel politically deprived, they need to be pacified, they need to be talked to. You need to talk to other countries, getting their help, those who want to help you, and also trying to deter the countries and intelligence agencies, those who are doing things which are not good for you. They are abetting the terrorist or the extremist or whatever. Then you have to see what the media is doing, what are the narratives which are being spread. So you have to produce counter narratives. In my opinion, closing the media or gagging the media is not an answer. Actually, you have to fight back. You have to fight back with counter narratives. In our case, what we try to do is that whenever we find that there's some bad narrative is coming, we try to block that media. We try to stop the voices. That will not work. So, what has been happening before is that army was successful in cleansing the areas, in subduing terrorists, annihilating them, killing them, or driving them away. After that, it was the responsibility of political forces to take over that area and to ensure that there is development, infrastructural development. People are given jobs, and that sense of economic deprivation, the sense of injustice, is removed. That has not been done. That was never done. With the result that it came back again and again, and this has happened even today. And we've also started a new, phase of operations, we can say. And there's some misconceptions about that operation. I will come to that. So, if we really want to succeed to root out terrorism, then we have to start fighting the war of narratives, the propaganda war. We have to fight back. Then those intelligence agencies which are abetting them by giving them training or weapons or capital, money, we need to do something about it. Either we strike back, because a defensive attitude in low intensity conflict uh, is normally it doesn't work, because how many schools you will defend, how many markets you will defend, how many mosques you will defend. So you have to get back to that country, and you have to first you must talk to them, and if they don't listen to you, they don't talk to you, then you have to act in the same way, so that to pay them back in the same coin. Only then there will be a deterrence. Only then the talking environment will be created again. So, if we really want to root out this menace of terrorism, we have to be very active as far as narratives are concerned, as far as politics is concerned. We have to get all the political groups on board. As far as diplomacy is concerned, dealing with other countries, putting the economy right, so that people are, poverty brings a lot of resentment, and if there is poverty and if there is injustice, this combination is deadly, and this gives growth to extremism, and which later on becomes, manifest into terrorism. So, if we look at our justice system, we know that it is in tatters. We've got to do something about it. We've got to put our economy right. And then, of course, some level of military operations will always be required. There will be certain elements, their intransigence cannot be overcome without bullets. So we have to do all that. But then, whenever an area is cleared, it has to be taken over by the political forces, and then they have to do all these things that I have talked. So I think now, after taking a very comprehensive view of how this all works, how it emanates, how it starts, and how it has to be fought, I would suggest that even this present, operation that we are starting, uh, which is to create to root out this instability, uh, uh, we must act on in all these areas. We must get all the political groups on board. We must remove the sense of deprivation, political deprivation, the sense of deprivation in the fields of justice, uh, and economic deprivation, and there has to be a whole of the nation approach, and all of us, the entire society has to act. Only then we will succeed. The police, the rangers, the justice system, the military, and above all the political government. So it has to be under the political authority. Only then it will succeed. If you leave it to armed forces, they will only do half the job as they have been doing earlier also. So with this, I will end. Again, praying and expecting that those at the helm of affairs, they do understand this phenomena, and they make a integrated plan with all these aspects which I've indicated, directed towards to end this menace. Thank you very much.